Okay, hello everyone. My name is Reagan Sapp, and this is my case study report infographic presentation. So, to begin, I'm going to talk about the family that we did the case study over. So, 31-year-old Sandra lives with and is the primary caregiver for her two children, 4-year-old Joshua, 4-year-old daughter Kayla, and 9-month-old son Joshua. Sandra's ex-husband Jonathan, the father of Kayla, and Sandra's mother play an active role in her and the children's lives. Anthony, Joshua's father, provides support monetarily through monthly child support, but is otherwise not involved. So, a little bit about what this family is going through at the moment, why we're getting involved. The current situation. Sandra has a 10-year history of drug abuse and was clean for the past 2 years until her recent relapse. When Sandra sought treatment 2 years ago, Kayla was not able to properly adjust to her new routine and struggled with behavioral issues that are now resolved somewhat. Sandra, her children, and her mother attend church weekly, where Sandra has learned of different resources but is too afraid to tell anyone of her drug use. Sandra is aware her drug use is affecting her ability to parent and work and does not want to lose her children, but the fear of losing her children isn't enough for her to do something. So, a little bit about what I thought needed to be done after I read this case. So, first, it is important for Sandra to be transparent with her family about her drug use and with their help decide on what treatment option will be best suited for her. Next, Jonathan and Sandra's mother must create and adjust to a new routine that is suitable for all of them. Finally, after treatment, Sandra will be able to reunite with her children and the entire family unit will feel more connected. So I think that's what needs to be done. And also, those are sort of our goals for what we're going to be working towards for this family. So, how are we going to do it? The first suggested resource that I have for this family was the Fair Treatment Program, which is an outpatient substance abuse program that also helps with mental health issues, being an active parent, responding to daily stressors. And so I just feel like all of those aspects are applicable to Sandra. And I feel like they could benefit not only her, but her children in the long run. And so the second suggested resource is the kinship care support groups. This would be a weekly attendance for the family. And I think it would be beneficial for the children because then they have people that they can relate to and hang out with and just have that routine, as well as the parents or the caregivers just feeling more empowered in their roles and being able to talk to people who are doing the same things and learn from those people and relate to them. So next, we would accomplish our goals and help this family by routinely checking in with them and making sure that the implemented resources are helping and that we're keeping our end goal in mind, ultimately, which is our last thing, that the family would be reunified. And so just working towards that, maintaining that goal and making sure that things are working for them, and if they're not, figuring out why and helping them just to fully heal and work together as a family unit. So last I talked about just the values that I remained mindful of while I was working on this case study, and then the roles that I fulfilled while working on this case study. So the first value was the importance of human relationships. I feel like this value, I remained mindful of it when I was trying to keep Sandra maybe in an outpatient program that would just be beneficial for the relationship with her children. And we saw that in the past, it was very difficult for Kayla to adjust without her mother. And so I just thought that maybe an outpatient program would be best. Second, I talked about service. And so the value of service in a social worker role is that we put all the families above us. And so just maintaining that role as I'm working as on their case and being their case manager. Just making sure that they know that they are important to me and that helping them is important, and that means showing up and scheduling things for them. So the last value would be social justice, and I talked a little bit about this value when I was advocating, obviously, for the children to stay under kinship care. I just think that's really important for them to remain with their family that has been around them if they are going to be separated from their mother for some time. I just think it's best to keep them with their family and to disrupt their routine as little as possible. So the roles I fulfilled during this case study, as an enabler, I would perform this role when trying to encourage Sandra to speak to her family about her addiction and get help, reminding her that, she is a good mother and she has what it takes to get the help that she needs. And so next, advocate and educator, advocating for the children to remain with their family, and then also educating the family on what that's going to look like and what we can do to make it the easiest transition possible. And lastly, fulfilling the manager role. And this looks like setting up the resources for the family, making sure that they're attending, making sure that this is working for them. And if it's not, finding something different, and just overall being in charge of what's going on in this process. So yeah, that is my case study report infographic. Thank you guys for watching.